Greetings and salutations. Today we'll be covering the cryptic case of Diao Aiqing's 2000-piece slaying. On January 19th, 1996, the tranquility of Jiangsu, China was shattered by the grim discovery of Diao Aiqing's dismembered body, which had been scattered across Nanjing University's vicinity. This was a quiet campus known for its picturesque landscape and its historical monuments, and it had now become the haunting stage for one of the most heinous crimes ever witnessed in the city's history. Diao Aiqing was a mere 19-year-old university student who would meet her tragic end on a fateful January, forever altering the course of her existence due to a disciplinary sanction. The only reason that the remains were identified as being human was because they had found 3 human fingers within the mass of what had been assumed to be pork. This macabre incident is now etched into the annals of Chinese criminal history as the Nanjing 119 incident, or the 119 dismemberment case, as it remains an unsolved enigma. It continues to baffle authorities, in particular the specificity of the 2,000 pieces of flesh, along with the meticulous nature of how the flesh was carved out. In the heart of Shengao, Diao Aiqing came into the world on March 1976, and it was a modest beginning which would later become the chilling setting for her end. On January 19th, 1996, fate decided to deal a tragic hand to this 19-year-old, leaving behind a tale shrouded in enigma and unspeakable horror. Born into a struggling family with limited resources, Dao was the youngest amongst her siblings, fighting against adversity to carve out her path through academic success. Her determination eventually led her to Nanjing University in 1995. This was a beacon of hope amidst a life of scarcity. Little did she know that this institution would become the final resting place for her fragmented remains. It was during the bitter winter of 1996, on the serene grounds of Nanjing University, that her remains would be initially mistaken for pork by a sanitation worker who had found a bag of meat. However, upon further inspection, 3 human fingers were ominously nestled within the folds of said meat, casting a pall of terror across the university, and further still across the city itself. The alarm of the university official who stumbled upon this macabre package sparked a sequence of events that would forever haunt the halls of Jiangsu. 9 days had elapsed since the puzzling disappearance of the 19-year-old student, whose fragmented remains would be located across 8 disparate locations. Each site harbored the grisly pieces of a once vibrant life, now reduced to a grotesque mosaic. The fragments themselves revealed an eerie precision, as they had been meticulously handled and boiled, evoking a sinister touch of an individual with an intimate understanding of anatomy. The forensic puzzle further confounded investigators, with the absence of critical organs such as the heart, the liver, the spleen, all which had seemingly been swallowed by the earth itself, leaving only traces that hinted at the victim's gender. Said victim would only be identified through a minute body hair that was located, along with a single identifier, a mole adorning Dao's right cheek, which offered the bleak confirmation to her devastated family. Their grief was further confounded by the revelation that Dao, an introverted young woman, would have suffered greatly as the tragic protagonist of this gruesome tale. Following this, the campus would be abuzz with unanswered questions, such as where had the brutality occurred and who had orchestrated such a heinous act, along with for what unfathomable reason was she targeted. There were clues that pointed to Dao's last sighting on January 10th, 1996, as she was departing campus following a dispute with the university authorities. This was due to a spat which led to her being sanctioned alongside classmates for the use of unauthorized electronic devices. Authorities, now forced with a barrage of dead ends, would grapple with a case ensnared and held together only by a web of speculation, theories, and unverified rumors. Despite the legal actions taken against Nanjing University by Dao's family, along with the absence of tangible leads, would cause the trail of the killer to remain cold. It seems the perpetrator truly was meticulous when they erased all traces of themselves from the victim. It must be noted that the shocking revelation of the victim's identity rippled throughout national headlines, prompting Nanjing University to take significant steps, in particular, reimbursement of all the fees of enrolled students. Meanwhile, amidst the looming shadows of tragedy, the victim's family sought solace in their hometown, away from the prying eyes of the media. In their quest for justice, investigators struggled to forge ahead. Yet what they did manage was to sketch a haunting profile of the elusive perpetrator. Speculation hinted at a chilling possibility: a butcher's precision or the surgical expertise of a professional. However, in a country teeming with individuals who practiced both these professions, and the concentration of them within this relatively restricted area, capturing the elusive culprit was akin to casting a line into stormy waters. As the nation grappled with the unsettling reality, this case remained ensnared in a maze of uncertainty, and the echoes of this horrific crime reverberated through the corridors of the educational institution and beyond, casting a pall of unease that lingered, a silent testament to the harrowing nature of this unsolved mystery. As the haunting legacy of Diao Aiqing's tragic demise cast an enduring shadow over the years, Chinese law enforcement endeavored to unravel the cryptic puzzle of her brutal murder. 2020 marked 2 decades since her untimely passing. The Criminal Investigation Office of the Ministry of Public Security vowed an unyielding pursuit of justice, a commitment to extending the investigation beyond the customary 20-year limit in their relentless pursuit for closure for this grieving family. The legal arena became a battleground for justice in 2021, as Diao's family, represented by a lawyer, embarked on their legal crusade against Nanjing University. The lawsuit was seeking 1.62 million won for damages, along with alleged neglect on the part of the university. Their claim asserted that the university's lapse in dormitory management provided the perfect breeding grounds for this heinous crime, allowing ample time to perpetrate the atrocity and evade capture. The lawyer's impassioned plea emphasized the missing opportunities due to the lack of critical evidence, causing detectives to be left with a void that kept the case shrouded in ambiguity for around a quarter of a century. The lawsuit echoed the unanswered questions of this gruesome saga. Did the tragedy unfold within the university's walls, or did it lead to a darker external realm? What role did the university authorities play in the sequence of events, and what befell Diao after she departed her dormitory? Amidst this, the plaintive cry of Dao's elder sister resonated with the fervent desire for closure. For this family, justice meant more than retribution. It symbolized a pathway to solace, a means to grant peace to the aged parents burdened with the weight of unresolved sorrow. Yet this quest for closure appeared elusive, overshadowed by the looming uncertainty, indignation, and a myriad of unanswered queries that obstructed any clarity needed to bring this nightmarish chapter in Chinese history to its long-awaited resolution. Meanwhile, Nanjing University's gesture of refunding Diao's tuition fees merely scratched the surface of a much deeper turmoil. The family's retreat from Nanjing to their hometown further echoed the lingering wounds of an unresolved tragedy. A harrowing report from the Jiangsu Evening Post capturing Diao in a boyish haircut, clad in a red coat, sparked communal fear, a chilling apprehension of a predator targeting short-haired women donning the same attire. The lawsuit against the university was painted as a quest for justice rather than mere recompense. Thus, this case was thrust into the spotlight. It must be noted that this case parallels other past cases solved via DNA evidence, and its unsettling resemblance to an infamous case which occurred in Japan. In the labyrinth of this lingering enigma, where mystery melded with macabre moments, the tale of Diao Aiqing unfurls like an unsolved symphony, echoing through the corridors of time. A young life fragmented into over 2,000 pieces, woven into a macabre tapestry by an elusive perpetrator, painting the portrait of an inexplicable horror. In the annals of Jiangsu's history, the tantalizing threads of truth twine amidst the turmoil of a puzzle pursued by tireless investigators, veiled in uncertainty, indignation, and the unanswered questions that endure like echoes in the eternal abyss. If you remained with me until the end, I thank you, and I do hope you stay tuned and subscribe for more content.